told my 25 female husband, 26 male, about my childhood abuse and I regret it. I was molested as a child from a very young age, as early as I can remember, until I was about 6 years old. It's always been something that I have struggled with, but there's nothing I can do about it, so I have found that it helps talking about it with my mom and close friends whenever I have flashbacks. For context, my husband and I both agreed to not have sex until after marriage for religious reasons. Please do not comment on this as these are our beliefs. I told my husband while we were dating about my abuse and how it has affected my life, and I told him since I never had sex before, I don't know how I'll react in that kind of situation until it happens, but I wanted to give him a heads up in case that was too much for him to handle. He told me it didn't matter to him and we would work through it together. Fast forward to now, 2.5 years later, and I'm struggling. It hasn't been for our whole marriage, but sometimes I have hard months, days, years, and it has been a rough last few months. Every time my husband persists, I get flashbacks and have to tell him to stop. Sometimes he will keep going because he thinks I'm kidding and I try to get over it, but today I just snapped and kept telling him, I'm happy to help you out, like with a BJ, but I just don't want anything myself right now. He got upset and kept asking, why? You have to at least give me a reason why you only want sex like once a month. It's affecting our marriage. I said, you know why? He said, no, I don't. Explain. So, I told him sometimes I get flashbacks when he persists and sometimes I'm just not in the mood. He listened and understood and said he would try to make some changes. I broke down and started crying that it wasn't fair that the man who did this to me is affecting this part of my life. I told him it wasn't his fault and I didn't want him to stop showing me affection and that it's normal for him to want sex, so I didn't want him to treat me differently or look at me differently. I apologized and he listened and understood. I told him, I don't want things to change, and he said, things are going to change. That's life. Afterwards, he canceled our plans to go in our pool and play cards and told me maybe it's better to help get my mind off things if I were to go and paint because it's one of my favorite hobbies. I know he's meaning well, but it just seems like he's already looking at me and treating me differently. I shouldn't have been so vulnerable. I should have kept it to myself. I'm afraid he'll stop being himself and look at me differently. I hate myself for bringing it up and not just sucking it up and having sex to avoid this conversation. I'm so sad. Forcing yourself to have sex when it's traumatic for you will never be the answer. Seek therapy. I have same story as you are, and yes, it was living hell when I started being sexually active. But with therapy and proper communication with the people I sleep with, everything ends up just fine and I enjoy it to the fullest. He doesn't need to change, just set some boundaries that you know by now can be triggering for you. I know I did, and it helped me greatly to never revisit my traumatic past. Wish you the best, boo. First of all, really sorry to hear you're going through that. Second of all, he is absolutely in the wrong for responding that way. My girlfriend was physically and sexually abused a few years ago and it was very difficult for me to accept that. I didn't know how to feel and sometimes it was a struggle processing how I felt. However, I would never cross that line and do anything she didn't want. If your husband is having a hard time coping with the fact that his wife was abused in such a way, I understand that. It was hard for me too. It takes time. What's not okay is making a survivor feel like they had a part or like they're actively inconveniencing you because they aren't in the mood or need space. I think it was extremely good that you were vulnerable with him. Who else can you be vulnerable with, but your husband? If you can't be vulnerable with your husband, who can you be vulnerable with? Clamming up and closing off is a lie from the enemy. But you definitely need couples counseling to work through this, because if you don't, this sounds serious enough that it may very well destroy your marriage. Praying for you, Sista. I think first get a safe word. Then there's no confusion on when you want to end an interaction. And second, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not in individual and couples therapy. You shouldn't feel bad. Your husband should feel bad for having pressured you when you told him to stop. No, and stop are full sentenced. It doesn't matter why. Not getting ready after he cancelled plans. My boyfriend cancelled our plans with less than an hour's notice today. Which meant I'd spent time getting ready, doing my hair, makeup. I got all dressed nice. I was really excited to see him too. Now he wants to see me tomorrow instead, but to be honest, after getting ready and being let down like that, I don't want to get ready again. It took time and I feel like such an idiot getting excited about seeing him. It sounds petty, but would I be within my rights to just have my hair up, no makeup and in my pajamas when he next comes over? It sounds petty, But would I be within my rights to just have my hair up, no makeup and in my pajamas when he next comes over? Of course you're within your rights to be wearing whatever you want when he comes over. Though I am wondering why he cancelled, because if it was a good reason then your feelings may be a bit misplaced here. Not that it means you need to dress up again, because you don't. You could do that. Or you could use your words. I was hurt and disappointed when you cancelled yesterday. I also felt like I wasted my time and effort getting ready, doing my hair and makeup to see you. When you rescheduled, I questioned if I should put the effort into getting dressed, doing my hair and makeup. Would you cancel again? Would you appreciate the effort? Tell him how you feel. Use your words. Just the fact that you have to ask if you are within your rights to be comfortable is insane to me. Honestly, it really depends on why he cancelled the plans you had. I read in your other comment that he said he was tired. Now it all depends on what kind of tired. Did he just get back from work? Was he busy with something all day? Did something come up that he had to get done and got really tired? Or did he just get tired of, I don't know, gaming, laying around and not doing much? If it was justified, then no, I don't think it would be okay if you were petty. Of course, you can do whatever you want, and it's absolutely okay if you don't want to do makeup, hair, clothes again. But I feel like if he had a good reason, it would be unnecessary to be petty. But if he was just lazy and didn't want to go through the trouble of hanging out, then yes. By all means, be as petty as you can. You are under no obligation to fix up for anyone. My boyfriend hardly ever sees me in makeup. Can you not just have a conversation with him about how his last-minute cancellation made you feel? I honestly don't understand why you're making this so complicated. Let him know that you put a lot of time and effort into looking good for him. He may not know how much time, effort it takes for you to get ready for a date, and that you'd like for him to be more respectful of your time in the future. You certainly don't have to get all made up, if you don't want to, but that's no reason to resort to passive-aggressive tactics. Use your words. Good friend just blocked me because of wedding. I'll try and keep things short but relevant. I, 31 female, got married over the weekend to my husband Steve, 33 male. We've been together 5 years. It was a destination wedding and it was awesome, best day of our lives. We got home yesterday and I started sending a couple pictures to people that weren't able to make it or who weren't invited. I have a friend Matt, 28 male, who I've known for 3-4 years now. We chat pretty much daily, memes and random stuff, but I'd say we are close. Texted him the same couple pictures that I've sent others. He replied congrats and how lucky Steve was. And then he said that I was the most beautiful bride he's ever seen and that he loves me and that he was blocking me because it's the right thing to do. I was kind of in shock. I sent a text quickly back but he had already blocked me. I didn't even get to really say goodbye and now I have this empty space in my heart where my good friend used to be and it hurts. Clearly he doesn't want me to go around his boundaries and I want to respect that. What am I supposed to do? Just let go of it all? How do you even do that? Too long did not read. Good friend says he loves me and then blocks me after I get married, leaving me sad and confused. Leave him alone and move on. That's all you can do. First, remember that you can't be responsible for how another person feels about you. Second, respect that he blocked you and leave him to whatever he's dealing with. If he wants to talk to you, he knows how to. If you circumvent the block and show him this will get your attention, then you encourage behavior that'll make things tough for you in future. Clearly, he's struggling with his emotions and thinks this is what he needs. Likewise, you are allowed to grieve the loss of this friendship, but the best thing you can do is confide in someone you trust who is disconnected from him and your husband so that you can be honest about your feelings. That will help find a way past this eventually, even if it takes some time. He didn't block you because of a wedding. He blocked you because of your wedding and the fact that he's in love with you. He realized he can't be friends with you and watch you live your life with another man. Let him have his space and enjoy your first few months of being married. And if you struggle to deal, get some therapy. A little unconventional, but doubtlessly honorable. This is probably for the best, as while it may have been platonic on your end, it wasn't on his. Matt was probably in love with you and in denial about your relationship until he saw the wedding photos and got depressed or something. Seems to me that Matt probably believes his blocking you is a gift or favor. Removing his presence from your marriage, as he knows he isn't in it for friendship alone. This is simple. He obviously had feelings for you more than a simple friendship. He blocked you and that's the end of that. He's your friend you talk to every day and you did not invite him to your wedding? Plus he loves you. He is deeply hurt. He wanted to be the husband. I think I just found out my husband settled for me. I know. Don't go looking for things you don't want to find. But I did, and I regret it so much now. I found messages between my husband and a friend. It's from the first 6 months of our dating. I don't feel like she engages me in a way that I should choose her over the many other great girls out there. I feel I am just repeating the same story I had with my ex-wife. I don't feel physically attracted. She doesn't drive me crazy like other women have. But I like many other aspects of her being. I was thinking of other women quite a lot lately and I just thought something isn't right in this relationship with her. I am trying to pull away, but then she does the sweetest things for me. I feel devastated. And used. He stopped messaging this friend after a while and then committed to me. But why did he marry me if he felt like this? Is any of the love I thought we had real? He's been in a really mixed up season of life and I've supported him so much with job hunting, education, bills, everything. I am struggling to face the fact that our marriage is a farce and he's just in it because I do so many nice things for him. If you found out your partner wasn't attracted to you after months of dating and kept feeling like they should break it off, how did you cope? What did you do? Especially if you're now married? How long ago are we talking up? Sometimes love grows over time and it might be the case for you, husband. Perhaps he was unsure about your relationship when you first started out but decided to give love a chance. With that said, if I were you, I would not be able to let this go. Talk to him about it. Tell him how this have hurt you. Let him explain his feelings. Maybe you will grow from this. Just know that it is perfectly reasonable. And I encourage you not to settle for a man that does not love you with all his heart. He had thoughts of continuing to play the field in the first few months of your dating. And now, you two are married. Not every relationship starts with someone believing they found the one instantly. Bringing it up is bad because he's clearly evolved from those initial thoughts and you also betrayed trust by snooping through messages from over 2 years ago. If you think your marriage is a farce, it's not from some doubts he had years ago, it is from whatever is happening now. Just to be clear, you said you've been together for 3 years, and these messages are from the first 6 months. That's 2.5 years where he could have changed his mind. Like you don't get to know people instantly, it takes years sometimes. He could have felt like that in the beginning, but now he feels different. I think you should confront him with those texts and demand honesty. You shouldn't settle for a husband who doesn't make you feel beautiful and adored. Did he settle for you, or did he choose you? Maybe he decided that raw, animalistic physical attraction isn't everything, and actually he loves you so much as a person that those superficial things are less important. If someone decides you are the best person for them, despite having found other people more attractive etc., that can be seen as a positive and say a lot about how deeply he cares for you. But as with most things on Reddit, we're only guessing until you confront him about it.